Hello and welcome back to ScreenBlue.com.
This lecture, we're going to learn about the software project management tool called Maven. Okay, Maven is probably the most popular tool in Java. If you're trying to work as a Java developer in real time, you're going to be using Maven all the time. That's why I created a lecture for Maven, because it's probably the most used tool that you're going to do in your real-time project. So what is Maven then? Apache Maven is a software project management and comprehension tool. So just like I said before, Maven is a software project management tool. Okay, so it uses the concept of project object model called a POM, okay, which can manage a project's build, reporting, and documentation from a central piece of information. Maven's primary goal is to allow a developer to comprehend the complete state of development effort in the shortest period of time. In order to attain this goal, there are several areas of concern that Maven attempts to deal with. First is making the build process easy, right? Second is providing a uniform build system. Third is providing a quality project information. Fourth is providing guidelines for best practices development. And the fifth one is allowing transfer and migration to new features. So this is the book definition of Maven, right? So to summarize, Maven basically is a project management tool that helps you to actually get your project up and running in the shortest amount of time, okay? If you're going to be working as a Java developer, you're going to be using Java Maven a lot. Probably 80% of the time you'll be using Maven as your project management tool, right? So what's the advantage of using Maven? Well, with Maven, it's very, very easy to run your projects, right? Also, download the dependencies. So what I mean by dependencies is if you can work as a Java developer engineer or Java developer in your real-time projects, right? You're gonna need a lot of the artifacts, or we call it jar files, right? In the simplest form. Okay, you're gonna need a lot of open source jar file or artifacts, right? So in that case, all you have to do is use Maven, and Maven uses this thing called POM, right, which is a project object model. So in that, you're going to put all the dependencies, right, and from there, you can download all the dependencies that you need. An example in here, you can see here, I've got this project here, Selenium Java, and you can see here, this is a POM file, okay, this is pom.xml. As you can see, this is an XML file, and here, I've got this dependencies here, right? So here, I need a JUnit, so you learn about JUnit in the previous JUnit classes, right? And here I also added dependencies for Selenium Java, right? So in order to run your Selenium automation script, you're going to need a Selenium jar file, right? And those jar files keep incrementing all the time, right? And it's very hard to get hold of it, what Java version you have, right? Or let's say you want to get to the latest version, right? Instead of downloading it all the time manually, right? Maven helps you to actually download the latest one. All you have to do is provide the dependencies. The group ID is the group ID of the Selenium Java and the artifact ID. So you're going to get this from all the Selenium Java artifact. And here you're going to put a version number here. So right now it's 2.49.0. Next time, let's say it's 2.50. All you have to do is just change this version here. Once you do that, it's going to automatically download the latest version, or 2.50.0 for you. Right? Same thing with here. Got this JUnit here, okay, which I'm going to need it to run my unit test. Then you provide the version in here, and it will download the latest version for you. And I have this plugin in here, okay, build plugins. I'm going to need that, if I wanted to actually compile my projects, right? So let's say the other advantage of Maven is to compile your project. So I have the Java project, right, Selenium Java, and let's say you wrote some code in this main folder, right, and you want to compile and make sure there's no errors, right? So when you do compile, you're going to need a Maven compile plugin, which is right here, and it also has this group ID, artifact tree, and version. So you're going to do this all the time. You're going to be very familiar with this all the time if you're going to be working in a real-time project here, right? And here also I have got this group ID, artifact ID. This is version. So this is for my project in here, right? This is my com.selenium Java. This is my group ID, artifact ID, and version here. So you're going to have a lot of dependencies in your real-time projects, right? And with this Maven and this project POM model, it's very, very easy to download all the artifacts, right? And let's say you have this project, and let's say the new guy comes in to your team, right? And he wants to get the project up and running, right? So all you have to do is actually get this project, and since you have all the dependencies, all you have to do is run this dependencies here, download all the artifacts from this POM file, and he will be all set, right? Instead of like going manually and like trying to download jar file each and every time, it's going to be very hectic and manual as well. Apart from that, the other advantage of Maven is using the terminal or command prompt in Windows, right? You can actually run your project, right? So you want to test, you want to do all this good stuff, you can do that using Maven. So let's say you want to run the project. All you have to do is mvn, which is a Maven short form, mvn run. It's going to run your project, right? And if you do mvn test, it's going to test all your projects and so on. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in detail in our future class, but that's pretty much about the Maven introduction. In our next lecture, we're going to actually install Maven for Mac and Maven for Windows. That's it for this lecture. I will see you guys in our next lecture.